Sign language for justice. Everyone gets what they need.
How do you show justice?
I can show justice like Martin Luther King by saying powerful words and being kind to one another and doing stuff that would really help people and really change the world.
How can you show justice? We can show justice by helping each other and playing with each other and make sure nobody out. Like my friends over here did for me. And making sure nobody's left out.
How do you show justice?
Some people with disability help to play.
How can you show justice?
Don't judge someone the way they look, even if they have tattoos on their face and arms, and they have nose rings. They still might be nice on the inside. And the way they look on the outside doesn't mean that's how they act on the inside. You shouldn't judge someone by their hair or clothes or anything, especially not by the color of their skin. How can you show justice?
We can show justice by being respectful to all people, not just white, not just black, but Native Americans. Nobody really talks about Native Americans. They're just out of the picture. And they were the ones who really found this land and who were the first people on this land. So we should show some love and respect to them.
How can you show justice in real life?
You can show justice by sharing peace to each other. To show harmony to black people and white people, to live together, to be friends to each other.
How can you show justice?
Just like Katherine Johnson, we can use our brilliant minds to do things that are unimaginable.
Can you tell us about justice?
Because someone says you're not wanted no more, you don't have to do something to make them want you. You can just be who you are.
How do you show justice in real life?
You can show justice in real life, just like Martin Luther King Jr., by being powerful with our words.
We can show justice by not judging people who look different, because everybody, even if they look different, we're all the same, and we should all have equal rights. What do you want to tell us about justice?
If you blame somebody from something they didn't do, they might get a really bad consequence and they might even get really hurt. So that's why you shouldn't lie to people and say that somebody else did something. That would be rude, and just tell the truth so none of you will get hurt.
No matter how much money they have, everybody at our school needs a lunch. So they get a breakfast and a lunch because that's what they need.
How can you show justice?
You can show justice by traveling to many classes and teaching them to be kind to each other. I want to teach other people to be kind in their classroom so they don't feel left out. How can you show justice?
You can show justice by working together, like the people in the Montgomery bus boycott, to make what's right. How can you show justice?
We can show justice on the playground by making sure nobody's excluded and making sure they're not making sure they feel like they're not left out.
What can you tell us about justice?
Everyone have a seat in the bus, no matter color you are, just like Rosa Parks.
How can you show justice in real life?
You can show justice in real life by giving people equal rights to everything that they need.
How can you show justice?
Everything should be balanced, not just the rich people on top and the poor people on bottom.
How can you show justice?
You can show justice by not harming no one and stop the violence.
How can you show justice?
You give money people need for home and food.
How can you show justice?
You can show justice by not being disrespectful and not hurting anybody.
How can you show justice?
I can show justice just like Barack Obama did. He believed in that he could change the world, and he was the first African American president of Harvard Law Review, and he was the first African American president of the USA, United States of America. We can be powerful and we can be fearless and believe just like Barack Obama did and change the world.
How can you show justice?
You can show justice by not blaming on somebody that they didn't do. You always want to tell the truth.
How can you show justice?
We can show justice by making poems like Maya Angelou and using powerful words.
How can you show justice?
You can show justice by giving people food. You could think ahead and give the people peanut butter crackers. And if you want to be nice and generous, you could give them clothes to wear. How can you show justice in real life?
If someone works hard, they should get paid a lot. And if someone that doesn't work so much, they get paid just not so much.
How can you show justice?
We can show justice by when we grow up, we can save the world of whatever's happening out there.
How can you show justice?
I can show justice by doing very hard things like Harriet Tubman. She did not just only show justice, she showed justice and fortitude because she kept going back to help other slaves like her. And she kept on doing what was right even when it was so hard.
How can you show justice? If the team wants to see over the fence to see the team, they need different tools. If the tall kid can see over the fence, but the little kitty needs stool, so everybody can see them. And that's how we show justice.
How do you show justice?
We can show justice just like Oprah Winfrey, because Oprah Winfrey stood up for people, and we can do the same.
How can you show justice? You can show justice by not stealing things that are not yours, and by not hitting people or making people do something by saying, I dare you to do that, or I don't dare you to do something if you don't want to do it. And to make sure that people are doing the right thing.
What can you tell us about justice?
Ruby Bridges didn't give up. When she got in the school, she showed fortitude and justice. How can you show justice in real life?
Everyone deserves to vote because everyone's voice needs to be heard. How do you show justice in real life?
You can show justice by girls getting very good education. It's important because education is powerful.
How can you show justice?
You can show justice by letting everybody get their education. Boy, girl, white, black, poor, and rich, and Native American. Everybody around the world. So
so they could learn too.
How we show justice in real life.
We can show justice by teaching everyone else justice. Teaching them that everyone needs equal rights.
How can you show justice?
Just like George Washington Carver, we can use our brilliant minds, one of the 3 gifts that we have been given and evolved to have to invent things that some people thought weren't possible, but will help all of humanity, like peanut gasoline.
How can you show justice?
We need to make sure that everybody has a good education together so we can learn together and we can learn from each other.
What can you tell us about justice?
When Ruby Bridges was walking into the school, there were people yelling at her. She didn't yell back. She treated them with respect and then did that every morning. She didn't yell back at them. She prayed for them. So the people who were yelling got what they needed. What they needed was a prayer.